we're gonna start off with something that's actually fun and nostalgic. Okay? So I want to start off with what was the most popular junk food from every decade in the 20th century. So we're gonna be getting hit. I want to, we're gonna get hit in the nostalgia feels on this one, I think, because you know I'm thinking we have people of all ages and Nova's God. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I have a lot of feeling that maybe I'll get hungry, but I think this is also gonna hit a lot of people right in the member berries heels. So let's check it out and try not to cry for your long lost childhoods, okay, chat?
Twinkies, Little Debbie, Pop Rocks, Cheetos, Lunchables. No, this isn't an updated rendition of my favorite things from The Sound of Music. It's a history of our nation's favorite junk food. For the best way to understand America is not by looking into the hearts and minds of its citizens, but by the content of their snack box. Today on Weird History Food, we're talking America's favorite junk food through the decades. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel and let us know in the comments below what other snack food
Hi,
topics
Kaibo.
you would like to hear about. Okay, don't tell a dentist about this video. 4 out of 5 of them won't recommend it.
Ooh, 1900s. Oh boy.
Junk food as we know it today really began at the turn of the...
Quick, get the new guy a sub.
Moros? Because it's fun. Oh, no, we should be watching Beard Meats Food? Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And we're watching another food one right now. This one's just interesting. It's about history and learning stuff.
century. The dawn of the Industrial Revolution really gave mass-produced snacks their legs. So what was our nation's very first confection? Something
Thank
to
you,
go along with
Cryptic.
America's favorite sport, Cracker Jack, as featured in America's enduring banger, Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Oh,
You'd think that in 120 years, there would have been some experimentation with the recipe. But if combining popcorn, molasses, and peanuts together into a hardened sludge that will crack your teeth ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, except your teeth. That'll need a new crown.
God, who remembers Cracker Jacks? Or who still had Cracker Jacks? Because goddamn, they're still around. Cracker Jacks are still around to this day. And I mean, that is some staying powder. So, like, serious staying power. Yeah. I've had Cracker Jacks. I like them. They're not my favorite. They're not my favorite snack, but they're good. This. Yeah, they're Cracker Jacks they're a good snack.
Cracker Jack was sold at the Chicago World's Fair in the late 19th century,
Hey!
and got such rave reviews that it was repackaged for mass distribution across the land. Fast forward to 1900, when public speaker Francis Woodward procured the formula for flavored gelatin. He marketed it as Jell-O, and boy, did the country go nuts for it. A 1902 advertisement in Ladies'
So Jell-O was back in 1900. Oh my!
Home Journal
didn't know
referred to
that.
it as America's most famous dessert. Not for nothing, but these types of women's magazines weren't exactly impartial judges. Have you seen how many ways they found to slide Jell-O into otherwise normal recipes?
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, have you seen some of the Dylan B. Hollis Jell-O recipes that he's done? Oh, they look so nasty. Red Bassett, that's an excellent question. Oh boy. That's tough to say. I tell you what, I will, yeah, B. Dylan Hollis is great. He is hilarious. But I will, okay, Red Bassett, I'm going to instead pivot, instead of saying what is my favorite snack food, I'm going to tell you my favorite, like, dessert that I oh so dearly miss. There is one dessert since I've moved to Canada that I miss so much. And chat, some of you may know what this is. I miss Entenmann's donuts. I miss Entenmann's chocolate donuts because I can't get them here. I can't get them here in Canada. No, at least not in my part of it. Maybe like in central Canada in like the major hubs like in Toronto, perhaps. But I have not seen them since I moved. Not the donuts anyway. You can't get the donuts. I think they've got like the packages of little brownies, but they don't have like the box of like a dozen donuts. Uh, Roasted? It's not the same. It's not the same. Entenmann's donuts are so yummy. I would not want to Amazon them to me because I think they would get crushed in transit. I honestly think they would get crushed in transit. And yeah, it's just those Entenmann donuts, man, they hit different than any other donut. They are my all-time favorite. It's okay, Rabassi. That's why I said I didn't think some of you would would have heard about it. It's not a well-known brand. So I didn't think everyone would know about them. I think most people probably don't know about them. But it's like I grew up with them. In Chicago. No, it's not. No. Robespart is not simply a Chicago thing. It's a United. I think it's an American thing. At least the donuts. Cause when I went on a vacation out in California a couple of years ago, I found them there. So it's not just a Chicago thing, it's just a US thing. So that is probably my favorite probably my favorite snack that I have not been able to have for a while. Yeah, Entenmann's. Yeah. Oh, you've had them at the nice. Yeah. They are so good. You have them in Arizona. Yeah, so it is a US thing. I figured it was a US thing. They're it's actually the donuts are not in Canada. They have like boxes of like little packaged brownies and chocolate chip cookies, but they do not have the boxes of a dozen donuts. Super donuts. It doesn't sound familiar, Kit. Um, Super donuts does not sound familiar to me. I'm not sure. Anyway, we went way off track on the donuts, so let's continue and get hungrier.
Back then, mini hot dogs and Jello. Oof. Not long
Thank you
after
for the follow,
Jello
Mr.
came the
Fish.
Tootsie Roll in 1905, a tiny tube of
Tootsie
chocolate
Rolls!
taffy that
Still
only
around
cost
today.
1 cent. Tootsie Roll also had a hygienic novelty. It was the first individually wrapped candy. Wrapping up the aughts, Hershey's chocolate began as a harebrained enterprise by none other than popular carameler Milton B. Hershey. After
Hershey's
inventing and patenting his
Kisses.
own proprietary milk process to develop chocolate, Hershey founded a chocolate plant in Pennsylvania. In 1905, the first
And I've been to Hershey, Pennsylvania. I've been to the Hershey Park. Hi, Mr. Fish. Yeah, I mean, you follow. We're running a special this month. Follow and get a free gifted sub when you follow us. Yeah, Hershey Park was a lot. Hershey Park was a lot of fun for when I went, Robo. I went there when I was young. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun there.
product of the plant began rolling off the assembly line, the Hershey's chocolate bar.
Oh, okay. Can we just appreciate how much of these old timey candies and now cookies that came out back in like the 1900s and 1910s and are still in existence today? Like, yeah, I didn't realize Oreos were this old too, and they're still around today. Heck, when I took several minutes to wash my face, I also like re-energized myself with some Oreos like 10 minutes ago. Like, holy crap. I didn't know they were this old either.
Back at a simpler time before all the world wars, things were easier, especially copyright infringement.
Did they,
Take
Fish?
Oreo,
I don't
one of the
know.
most popular cookies in America. The cream cookie sandwich is
I thought and maybe I'm wrong. I thought Hydrox came out in as a response to original Oriental Bisco Oreos is actually a copy of a brand called Hydrux. So Hydrux did come first and Oreo copied them. Interesting that he's not bringing that up. So how long had Hydrox been out before Oreo came out? And yes, no, Scott, I have tried Teddy Grahams. They're nice. I like Teddy Grahams. Wait, where did Hydrox originate from? Is it Great Britain? Was Hydrox from Great Britain? It sounds like something that would be in Great Britain. Targeted towards Jewish people, so a bit more niche demographic. Oh, okay, fair. Did he mention copyright? Hang on.
Before all the world wars, things were easier. The Hershey's chocolate bar.
Okay, hang on. Maybe I jumped ahead in my
Back at a simpler
thinking.
time before all the world wars, things were easier, especially copyright infringement. Take Oreo, one of the most popular cookies in America. The cream cookie sandwich is actually a direct copy of a pre-existing cookie, the Hydrox. In fact, Oreo just had one major difference from its Hydrox: lard. That's right, Oreos had lard in them. Lard is what makes anything delicious. Depending on what part of the country you live in, you might swear allegiance to Hostess or Tasty Cakes.
Tasty Cake. I've heard of that brand, and of course I know Hostess. So, okay, where's Hydrox originally from? Is it a US company, or is it like a European company? He didn't mention that, because he said he got taken from Hydrox, but he didn't say where Hydrox came from. Hang on. I'm gonna look this up right now. Where did Hydrox come from? Alright. So, let's see. Oh, it was the United States. It was manufactured by Sunshine Biscuits. So so it was a U.S. company. Okay, I with that name I figured it was British, but no, it is a U.S. company. Okay.
And before you say, but I don't eat sweets, just answer, there is no third option. Tasty Cakes entered the market in 1914, aiming for the chocolate cupcake crowd. Hostess followed a few years later in 1919, launching the beginnings of a nascent sponge cake empire, which would grow to include ding-dongs, snowballs, and of course, the mighty Twinkie.
Which, how many of you guys were heartbroken when they temporarily retired the Twinkie? How many of you guys were heartbroken when they retired the Twinkie? Several years back. I forget when that was. Yeah, that was an '07 day. Oh yeah, out for a brief time. For a brief time, Hostess retired the Twinkie. It went away. And I think it was like a couple of years later, they did bring it back. But as people in chat are saying, it's not the same as it was. They obviously changed the formula. It's basically like vanilla sponge cake with cream filling. That's what a Twinkie tastes like. A Twinkie tastes like vanilla sponge cake with cream filling. It's good. Twinkies are good. And yeah, Novus, I love Hostess cupcakes too. I've actually been upset because I've wanted to get Hostess cupcakes for my apartment, and every time I've gone to the grocery store, all they have are the vanilla Hostess cupcakes, none of the chocolate ones. Like, what the hell? Where are my chocolate cupcakes? It's kosher. Well, yeah, because they said it was marketed to the Jewish people. I assumed it was kosher.
Like the Hostess cupcakes of today, the earliest ones were just plain cupcakes. They wouldn't get their signature squiggly lines of vanilla frosting for another 40 years. Various marshmallow paste can be found in late 19th century regional cookbooks, showing that even before mass production was a thing, people found a way to consume empty calories. But it wasn't until 1917 that Massachusetts native Archibald Query patented a marshmallow fluff spread, followed 1 year later by his revolutionary Fluffernutter. On the other end of the
I've heard of Fluffernutter, usually in joke format. Never had it though. I'm actually not a bit. Yeah. Ow. I'm. I'm actually not a big fan of. I actually don't like just like pure marshmallow. I don't like it. You know, like eating marshmallows. Um, I'm you know I like marshmallows in the format of like in cereal, like cereal that's got marshmallows in them. Even though yes, I know that's not actually marshmallows. It's just like pure sugar. But I've like something about marshmallows. I just don't like the texture. The taste isn't all that great, and I just don't like the texture. It just doesn't do much for me. Honestly, it's okay. But if I have the option between a marshmallow or say a cookie, I'll go with the cookie over the marshmallow. That's it.
caloric spectrum, peppermint lifesavers hit the shelves in 1912.
Ah!
Following up on the previous decade's invention of individually wrapped penny candies, lifesavers were ensconced in shiny foil wrappers. Originally, they were shaped like solid white discs. The holes wouldn't enter the picture until 1925.
Interesting. Okay. But now they said that they. Am I correct? I heard him say that the lifesavers that came out back then were meat only. They were not the multi-fruit flavor lifesavers. Did I hear that correctly? He said he was only the mint ones that came out in 1912, I think. So I'm wondering because this looks like Jolly Ranchers here. And yes, a Reese's peanut butter cup and a Baby Ruth. Reese's peanut butter cups are one of my favorites. Now that I'm seeing it, I can say Reese's peanut butter cups are one of my favorites. But I'm wondering if Lifesaver like the fruit flavors came out in response to Jolly Ranchers, perhaps.
Extra, extra, read all about it. It's 1920, and the decade's first hit is the indescribably delicious Mounds Bar. Composed of dark chocolate
Wow,
and
it's this
coconut,
Mounds? Is this
was
old?
invented by Vincent Nitito and sold to the Peter Paul Candy Company in 1929, who also produced Almond Joys, which, as we all know, are just Mounds bars with a big almond in the middle. It's called knowing your audience.
Okay. I've seen old commercials of this.
Cheer 100 AWACS Cryptic is now off station. Have a good stream, Ember.
Thank you, Cryptic. You have a good night. Thanks for coming. Like they ran like these commercials. They ran these for decades. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Yeah, they ran those commercials for decades. I remember seeing I've seen like these old Almond Joy and Mounds commercials. Like
11-year-old Frank W. Epperson accidentally invented a cold, tasty treat when he left powdered soda on his frozen front porch overnight, with the
Is it
mixing
Pops?
stick still stuck in the packet.
oh
In
no, popsicle.
1923,
Okay.
Epperson patented his creation, the Epsicle, which his children helpfully redubbed the Popsicle. Harry Burnett Reese was a Hershey dairy farmer and foreman who had his own idea for a delicious bowl-shaped candy.
Yeah, pink. I do, and that may come up here in this. I'm guessing Klondike Burks will probably come up here. Yeah, and I think the saying still goes today. I'm pretty sure that any Klondike bar commercials is still "What would you do for a Klondike bar?" I'm pretty sure that's still going today.
In 1928, and left to make his dream a reality.
Wait a minute.
Was a Hershey dairy farmer and foreman who had his own idea for a delicious bowl-shaped candy in 1928, and left to make his
Nice.
dream a reality. His
Nice.
peanut butter cups were an immediate smash hit, And after he died,
And-
his 6 sons sold their dad's product to Hershey's for shares worth $3.6 billion. But Rick
Wow.
wasn't the only guy out there with big ideas for peanuts. In 1920, Otto Y. Schnaring dropped batches of his candy creation out of a chartered plane, showering 40 states with candy bars made of peanut, caramel, and nougat. That was the day it rained Baby Ruths, which Schnaring named after his favorite baseball player. But the
Okay,
truly
yeah.
miraculous part of his story was that his stunt didn't manage to maim anyone. Imagine being taken out by an airborne candy bar in the 1920s. First the stock market, now this. In the
Snickers.
1930s, World War II was underway, and people had to get creative with their cooking habits. James A. Dewar had noticed how underused shortcake pans were outside of strawberry season, and began filling those neglected pans with banana filling. When WW2 led to a rationing of bananas, the filling was subbed in with vanilla. Voila! Twinkies. Anyone who lives in the Delmarva.
So this is how Twinkies came to be. Interesting. Okay.
Region knows the tale of Herman J. Lay, the Willy Wonka of savory delicacies.
that was it.
Who
Okay.
introduced America to the potato chip bearing his name in 1938. 20 years later, Lay would team up with Charles Elmer Doolin of the Frito Company to merge into the Frito-Lay conglomerate, cornering the market on salty snacks. The 30s were also a bopping time for Frank Mars, founder of Mars, Inc. And you thought they were named
Comes the
after
Mars bar.
planet. It's easy to get confused. After all, it was Frank Mars who introduced the world to his son's chocolate concept, the Milky Way. His son was Forrest, by the way, not Bruno. The Milky Way opened the soft nougat floodgates, and Mars perfected the practice with his 1930 Snickers bar, followed 2 years later.
And okay, I'm trying to remember this. Hey, people in chat. I've heard this from my fellow rats who live in the UK, and I believe I'm getting this correct. What they've told me, you cannot get Milky Way in the UK. You have Mars bars. So you have Mars bars in the UK, not Milky Way. Whereas where in North America, you get the Milky Way bar, but not the Mars bar. I think that's how it works. And hi, ACDC. I think that's how it works, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, you're right, BBGs. I do vaguely recall seeing Mars bars in Canada also. Tours, I'm not sure. It could be that you know what I could be thinking of? It's just that the UK only gets Mars bars and they can't get Milky Way. I think that may be it. Is in the UK they only get Mars bars and they do not get Milky Way bars, but in North America we have both. I think maybe that was it, if I'm remembering it correctly. Although I'm gonna wait to see if he brings it up because there's a particular candy bar that I do have my own
The
favorite
US
candy
is the
bar.
only country that doesn't get Mars bars.
The US does not get Mars bars. Okay. Okay, I thought that might have been what it was. And with Milky Ways, all the guys that prohibits them from being okay. Yeah, Petro, I believe you may be right. Well, no, because yeah, because I don't think Milky Way is in Canada. I can't recall seeing a Milky Way in Canada. That could be that could be possible. But there is a candy bar that I will say is my undisputed favorite. I'm gonna wait to see if they mention it.
By Three Musketeers.
Boop! Right as I say that. This is my favorite candy bar. God, the fucking timing. Three Musketeers is my favorite candy bar. I love Three Musketeers bars. They are without a doubt my favorite candy
Snickers bar, followed 2 years later by Three Musketeers. Both featured a
Wow, I didn't know they were out this
Snickers had
early.
an additional caramel and peanut center. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. wasn't just someone trying to be cute in M&M's slogan department.
Huh.
The 1941 confection resulted from a wartime necessity, as Mars began producing hard-coated candies that could withstand overseas travel and storage.
You know what? I always thought M&M's came out sooner than this. I really did think that M&M's had come out to the market sooner than this. Like, I figured they were around since the 1920s, but obviously I'm wrong.
Store for the troops. Russian immigrant Samuel Bourne was already a well-known name in America's candy biz, thanks to his Bourne sucker machine that inserted sticks into lollipops. But he really broke out with his elongated jelly beans, Mike and Ike's, which came in fruit and cinnamon spice flavors. Although we all can agree cinnamon spice is the worst flavor. Is that one Mike or Ike? By the end of World War II, Dairy Queen was open for business, serving sweet and savory delights. Frito, minus the Lay's, that deal was still in the future, delved into new types of corn snacks through the 1940s.
I like Frito-Lays.
Cheetos. Developed in 1948.
Cheetos are good. I like Frito-Lays. Cheetos are okay. Cheetos are fine. I like Frito-Lays. I definitely like actual. I like actual Fritos. Those are yummy.
Through the 1940s, most notably Cheetos. Developed in
Fluffy
1948,
Cheetos, Pactra.
Cheetos were made with extruded corn, blasted with cheese powder.
Definitely
leading
puffy.
to a rise in cheese puff copycats soon after, forever dooming the keyboards of future generations.
Yep. No, I'm not going to say it because I hate that show and I'm not going to bring up anything having to do with that show, so never mind.
The end of World War II meant a boom season for America's new favorite pastime, gulping down as much fast food as possible. McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, and Kentucky Fried Chicken all became household names, a testament to the ever-expanding, or shrinking, palate of the average American. And the first national donut chain appeared in 1955.
And its expanding waistline.
When Bill Rosenberg franchised his Dunkin' Donuts shop.
Oh!
The rise of pizza chains followed a similar trajectory. The Italian dish was considered an exotic novelty until brothers Dan and Frank Carney began franchising their dine-in pizza parlor in 1959. Pizza Hut, the very first mainstream American pizza.
Wait, you said 1959 and Pizza Hut is basically a... I don't know if it's 100% gone away, but it is going away. So, Pizza Hut managed to last, what, 115 years? Because Pizza Hut's pretty much going away. I'm not sure if it's already filed for bankruptcy or if it's getting ready to, but Pizza Hut, it's not fully gone. It's not fully gone. It is going away. Pizza Hut is going under. It's going away. It's hanging on, but who knows for how much longer? So it's managed to hold on for 115 years. No, sorry. I don't know why I said 100. No, like 65 years. About 65 years. So then we'll see when the last door finally closes. We'll see what kind of a tenure they have, but you know, for a classic like this, man, 65 years doesn't feel like a long time for this.
Began in a Kansas restaurant.
I've heard about
Back
it,
in
Novus.
those days, the pizza came in two sizes, 95 cents for a small and $1 for a large. And since there was no delivery, you had to walk in the snow, uphill, both ways to get it. Kraft food scientist Edwin Treisman was a huge influence in fast food innovation. For example, we have him to thank for the freeze-dried method that keeps McDonald's fries crispy. But his greatest invention was taking cheese in emulsifiers and loading them into an aerosol can. That chemical sorcery led to one of the most American foods of all time, Cheez Whiz. McKee Foods entered the ring in 1960 with their individually wrapped Little Debbie snack cakes, which to this day has kept its nostalgia.
Oh man, hang on. The Swiss cake roll. Out of all the Little Debbie snack cakes, I think the Swiss cake roll is my favorite. I do think the Swiss cake roll is my favorite Little Debbie snack cake. Although the Nutter Bar is a very close second. I do like the Nutter Bar.
This day has kept its nostalgic packaging. Meanwhile, Hunt's snack packs, which became lunchroom staples in 1968 when they began selling in individual containers, were originally stored in pull-tab aluminum cans until 1984.
Open it too.
Yeah, probably until they realized, okay, kids are slicing open their fingers left and right on these pull tabs at school, so maybe we should switch those to a foil wrapper and a plastic container. I'm guessing that's probably why they got rid of the steel pull can tabs.
Carefully now.
In 1963, Nabisco introduced the world to Chips Ahoy, which would become
Chips
the most
Ahoy.
popular brand of chocolate chip cookies of all time, and the third most popular American cookie ever. Number one being Nabisco's own Oreos. Chips Ahoy
Yep.
marketing included their Superman-ish mascot, Cookie Man, who valiantly fought villains like Fruit Fly and Bigwig, and had a chocolate chip
Okay.
counting alter ego, Mort Meek. Can't wait to see Zack Snyder adapt that story.
No. Fuck no. Keep Zack Snyder far away from it. Zack Snyder should not be allowed near a film production again for at least the next 20 years. Keep Zack Snyder away from sets. Fenners, no, they stun locked me at the beginning in the stream. Now we are into reacts. No more stun lock.
One of the biggest innovations in baked
300
goods
was
during
okay,
the
Jesse.
60s
300 was
Kellogg
good.
Pop-Tart, which introduced
He's
America
gotten bad,
to
though.
a pastry crust with a sweet filling that could be popped into a toaster. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
on the salty
Pop-Tarts.
end of things,
Okay, chat, real quick. Name your favorite Pop Tart right now. Favorite Pop Tart. Throw it up there. I will say mine is chocolate. Thank you, Cosmic. Okay, strawberry, double chocolate, Fenris, also mine, double chocolate. S'mores, berry burst, brown sugar cinnamon, more strawberry, more s'mores, more strawberry, more s'mores, raspberry, strawberry, nice, Jesse. Strawberry, raspberry, ooh, Yargan, raspberry, very nice. Blueberry for Curtis. I forgot about s'more. Yes, Fenders, you can change your answer. Oh, Seki, you've never had Pop-Tarts? Oh my. You should give them a try. Oh, cookies and cream, nice one, Tater Cat. Wild berry, nice. You don't like Pop-Tarts, Clarence Meal? Not everybody does. I mean, it's a personal taste. Some people like Pop-Tarts, some people just it's not for them, and I can understand that. The pastry can be I can understand how the pastry might be a little off-putting, and the filling might not be great for some people. So I can understand that. Your dog, I'm sure they did. And thank you again, Cosmic.
Frito-Lay's merger had led to one of their most popular products yet, Doritos. Released in 1960.
Okay, chat. Nacho cheese or Cool Ranch, right now. Nacho cheese or Cool Ranch, right now. This will determine whether or not you will be allowed further in the stream. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of correct answers and I'm seeing some incorrect answers. Those who said nacho cheese. Get out of my chat! You are dead to me. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Nacho cheese is good, but obviously my preference is Cool Ranch. The nacho cheese is fine. I like the nacho cheese version just fine.
By the end of the year, the stale corn chip covered in cheese dust was the second most popular snack in the country. The 1970s was a banner decade for snack foods. Pringles wowed the potato chip world by introducing dehydrated and reconstituted potato slices that could be
Interesting. I didn't realize that Pringles came out in the 70s. For some reason, I was thinking Pringles were out longer than just the 70s. Like, I thought maybe they came out back in like the 50s. Okay, they're younger than I thought.
Be stacked and
Oh
sold
yeah,
in
those
tubes.
3D Doritos
Ring Pops
Carax.
became a
Yeah.
fashionable treat in 1975 after Topps engineer Frank Richards needed an ingenious
Really,
way for his
Fenris?
daughter to
Wow.
stop sucking her thumb. Pop Rocks were another curiously crackly carbonated creation only the 70s.
Pop Rocks came out in the 70s? Okay, I thought for sure Pop Rocks was an 80s or 90s creation. I thought for sure that this was 80s or 90s. I had no idea they came out in the 70s. Wow. Ring Pops, you know what? I never really thought about Ring Pops. And Rubble, like you, I thought Pop Rocks was 80s for sure. Now, granted, they did say it was 1975, so it's only 5 years off. So, but it's still 70s. It is still 70s.
Could have produced. Developed by General Foods chemists in 1956, it took 2 decades until it finally hit shelves. After debuting in 1975, Pop Rocks enjoyed a 7-year run before rumors of a fatal reaction with soda saw the candy pulled for a decade in the 80s. Ice cream would
I vaguely recall hearing something about that. How there was a supposed, like in the 80s, somebody claimed that if you ate Pop Rocks and then drank a soda, your like stomach would explode. But they actually pulled Pop Rocks for that for a decade. Wow. You know what, Yard Dog? I don't know. I would have expected like candy corn to have come out back in like the 20s. I think did Mythbuster prove that it didn't happen? Probably. I could see that being one of the things that they proved isn't possible.
would never be the same after Vermont natives Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield opened their flagship ice cream parlor in South Burlington in 1978. Cohen suffered from anosmia, a complete lack of.
Okay, candy corn. Louis Black tells the best joke about this. I don't know if you guys know the comedian Louis Black. He tells a joke about how like every person that's ever had candy corn suffers like an Alzheimer's patient because it's Halloween. You walk into a house and you look at a bowl and go oh look, candy corn that tastes like candy, and then you eat some and you go son of a bitch.
Smell and therefore taste. He relied
I've
solely
never
on
had
what kids
Mellow
today
Cups,
called
no.
mouthfeels
I
to
don't
determine
know
the
that.
quality of his cream.
Wait.
Solely suffered from anosmia, a complete lack of smell and therefore taste.
Whoa. Hey, I didn't go back far enough. Let me hear this again. What's up with them?
Cohen suffered from anosmia, a complete lack of smell and therefore taste. He relied solely on what kids today called mouthfeels to determine the quality of his cream.
Wow. So then made not having taste cool before COVID. Yeah, I mean texture, basically, yeah. Although like the narrator was saying, it's like these days so many people don't call it texture, they just say it's a good mouthfeel.
Led to the pair experimenting with different textured treats and snacks incorporated into their product, leading to the most punny concoctions in dessert history.
Ah, here we go.
When Reese's Pieces came onto the scene in 1980, it was viewed as the red-headed stepchild in the Reese's dynasty, a relatively obscured offering outshadowed by the peanut butter cup. That all changed in 1982 when the snacks were featured in E.T., the extra.
You know what? I'd say this is probably absolutely correct. I'd say probably no one gave a shit about Reese's Pieces until E.T. started eating them. Because obviously E.T. was a smash hit. This is back when product placement in movies actually had a tangible effect. When people would see a product in a movie and go, yeah, I want that product. Hang on, right, Bassett. Maybe after the video. Did they turn it down sadistic? Yeah. You know what? Good for Reese's. They were able to pick it up. But this is you know back when this kind of product placement actually meant people would, after seeing a popular movie like this, they would actually go out and purchase the product. And Johnny McDippy, thank you for the prime. Welcome. Yeah, nowadays it's just if product placement in a movie is, at this point, it's egregious. I mean, for God's sake, look at the what was it, Transformers 4 with Marky Mark, where it was just fucking Bud Light product placement all over the damn place. Cause it's expected. It's expected that they're gonna show product placement in everywhere. But back in the 80s, they actually, the product placement actually nudged people to purchase the product in question. And nowadays it's just people do not give a shit.
Terrestrial. Originally, Spielberg had tried to get M&Ms, but
What you guys were saying?
Down. Probably should have phoned home about that one. Fruit candies also had a renaissance. Sour Patch Kids, developed in Canada in the 1970s, were
Canada!
Originally shaped like aliens. They changed shape when they hit American shelves in 1985, as a direct result with a cultural obsession with Cabbage Patch Kids. Skittles were another international.
The Sour Patch Kids sadistic? Yeah. I tell you what, I did not try Sour Patch Kids until later in my life, and they're good. Sour Patch Kids are tasty. I like them.
Invention, created by the Brits in 1974. It wasn't until the Wrigley Company purchased the brand in 1982 that Americans could taste the rainbow. Nabisco's Teddy Grahams, debuting in 1980.
Okay, chat, I'm gonna make a confession. I have never had Skittles in my life. I have not once had Skittles. I have no desire to have Skittles. I think because in my brain they look like M&Ms, and I think if something looks like an M&M, it should taste like an M&M. I also have not had Reese's Pieces. I also have not eaten those because they look like M&Ms, and in my screwed up brain, if it looks like an M&M, it should taste like an M&M. That's just like, that's how my brain works. So yeah, I've never had Skittles and I've never had Reese's Pieces. I've only had M&Ms.
88 were marketed as the healthy cookie option for children. Not sure why.
I know about Smarties, baby Davis. So I've had Smarties.
We can also thank the 80s for the rise in microwavable frozen snacks.
No, not Smarties. Wait, baby Davis, are you talking about the Smarties that look like M&Ms? Or the Smarties that look, God, I can't think of what they look like, but they don't look like M&Ms. I think they look like some other disc flavored candy. Okay, so baby Jesus, I've had Smarties, but not those Smarties. Yeah, Petra, I think I've had the tiny hockey puck ones, not the M&M ones. Those are the rockets. Thank you, baby Jesus. Yes, rockets. I've had rockets, not Smarties. That's what I'm thinking of. And yes, Seamusin, you missed chat bullying me to tears again at the beginning of the stream. So yes, it's rockets that I'm thinking of. Those I've had, not Smarties.
Options. Pizza rolls, invented in 1951 by Gene Palucci, didn't become a household staple until 1985, when Pillsbury acquired the brand.
90s time.
What better treat for the end of the snack century than Dunkaroos? Betty Crocker's mad experiment that flew in the face of conventional cookie frosting logic.
Dunkaroos are a conundrum because the cookies were only meh, but the dipping sauce, for lack of a better word, was good. And I would always do this thing where I would only dunk the cookies a little bit in them, so I'd have a lot of the sauce left over, so I could scoop it all up with my finger and just eat just the dunking frosting all into its own. And I like the chocolate ones. I wasn't a fan of the the vanilla or like birthday cake sprinkly one.
Unlike most of the other entries on this list, Dunkaroos are no longer around, having been discontinued in 2012. Wah, wah. Probably because each package came with cookies and a separate, sealed dipping cup of pure frosting. Naturally, kids caught on pretty quickly that this design allowed for a cookie-optional dining experience and mainlined straight sugar into their veins, which is probably why it's no longer available to purchase. Two fruity fan favorites during the 90s were also Betty Crocker Originals, Fruit by the Foot and Gushers. Both showed up in 1991, though the idea of dehydrating fruit into
Remember
leathery strips
Gushers?
has been around since before the invention of language. Even so, Fruit by the Foot was clearly modeled around fruit roll-ups, which had been patented a decade prior.
Yeah.
Gushers were
Okay, he's not talking about this, but who remembers the fruit roll-ups that had cutouts? Who remembers the fruit roll-ups that had cutouts in them? I think I remember that there was one where it was like cutouts of like dinosaurs. Yeah, those you unroll your fruit roll-up and you could actually like peel out the shape of dinosaurs and stuff. Oh shit. Seamus and I vaguely remember hearing about ones with the temporary tattoos. It's the cutouts one that I definitely know. And yeah, I'm sure they had different ones.
individual packets of fruit gummies filled with a sweet, oozy syrup. If your parents were trying to keep up the appearance of giving you a well-rounded lunchbox, you might be familiar with Go-Gurt. Originally billed as Canadian Yoplait tubes, that's an unfortunate.
Yeah, and you know what? We still have these. Yoplait tubes still exists. Actually, I think they call them. Do they call them Go-Gurt? Do they? Or not Go-Gurt? Go-Gurt's the American one. I don't know if they still call them tubes. In Canada, I mean. I don't know if they still. No, Go-Gurt is the U.S. version. I don't know if they still call them tubes in Canada, or if they might. But they're still around. These are 100% still around.
Name. They first hit American shelves in 1998, appealing to busy kids on the go who didn't have time for spoons. And finally, Lunchables. The TV dinners.
Oh God. These are still around. These are 100% still around. I see these in the grocery store all the time.
Noon were created after lunch meat lobbyists from Oscar Mayer petitioned Kraft to find a way to boost sales for Big Bologna. This ham-fisted agenda owed a debt to the rise of working
that's
moms
nice.
who suddenly had less time to prepare lunches for kids, who frankly would rather be dipping their snouts in pure frosting. It all created the perfect storm for the pre-packaged lunch revolution, which eventually expanded to 30 variations, including nuggets, pizzas, tiny burgers, and nachos. You know, the 4 basic food groups. So what do you think? What was your favorite junk food? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from Weird History Food.
That was cool. That was a lot of fun. Boy, that brought that. Boy, did that. Well, I mean, he's only got so much time, so I'm guessing he could only bring up so many. And I'm suspecting he didn't bring up all the junk foods like when they're created. He brought up like what was the most popular. He definitely was just bringing up the most popular junk foods of the time. So yeah, there's a lot that did not get brought up. It was just like the best sellers. So, but that was fun. That was a lot of fun. That brought back some memories, didn't it, chat? That brought back up so many memories for your childhoods, huh?